Yo, 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 what's happening, gang? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the reaction booth. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. And we got another video today. I came across this channel. It is the American Veterans Center. Yeah, American Veterans Center. And they do interviews with veterans, people who have served. And their stories are super cool and unique. All of them true to the individual, and I thought maybe we would watch one together and see how that goes. So see what this guy. Oh yeah, how I learned to fight and kill in Vietnam. David Rodriguez. So this gentleman right here is David Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, thank you for your service, sir. Let's hop right into this video.
When you first get there, it's all about confusion, and that's confusion within you. But after that, I found out that I'm in a war. This is real. This is not a joke. This is not what you see on TV. This guy here is trying to kill you. So either you get it together, or you're going to wind up dead. And so when I got used to it, and it took me a few
That's
months,
real shit.
I knew if they were going to shoot at me.
He said how long it took him to realize and get a grasp that he was at war? Oh wait, that's the volume. Shoot.
My job, and it took me there, or you're going to wind up dead. And so when I got used to it, and it took me a few months, I knew.
Took him a few months to get actually used to being at war and realize people are shooting at him.
If they were going to shoot at me, my job was to find them, see them, and shoot them. I wasn't
Swear to
gonna
God.
die. So it was his life or my life, and that's all it took.
Damn. Damn. Took him a couple months to get a grasp of, I will kill you if I see you.
I was born in San Jose, California.
And was there a history of military service in your family?
My father was in the Army. My uncles were all in World War II. One was in Korean War.
Did that influence your decision to join?
No, because we were we worked in farms, and so I didn't want to work in a farm anymore. So I was 17 years old, and I told my dad, I go, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go into the Army. And he said, well, don't you know there's a war going on? And he said, yes. And so he signed the paperwork. My mom cried. She didn't want to do it, but my dad did it because that's what I wanted. And I went into the military.
Where did you do your basic training?
Parents were so different back then. They were so proud to want to send, that their son wants to join the U.S. Army.
In Fort Lewis, Washington.
And what do you remember most about that?
Oh, that was during the time of meningitis, and there was a lot of things going on so it was, all our barracks were separated, but we had to go to training. We trained not individually, but as a unit from each barracks only, because of the meningitis that was going on at the time.
You were later assigned to be a combat engineer, right?
Yes, I did. I was a combat engineer. I went to Fort Leonard, Missouri, to get trained as an EOD specialist. I was an explosive specialist.
Tell me what the role of a combat engineer is.
Well, a combat engineer usually is going out and doing, building bridges, things that need to be done.
Okay.
In a combat situation, they say a road gets blown up, and
Exactly
they need
right.
to continue going through that road. Well, we repair the road and put it together. But my job was mostly explosives. I blew up things, as an explosive specialist. That's what I did. So I was attached to the infantry, and we would carry C4.
Because you got to know exactly where to place the explosive. You can't just go put an explosive on a bridge. You got to know, hey, this right here is the weak point on the bridge. That's where the explosive needs to be placed. The same way you would take an engineer to build a bridge, to take one down efficiently, because anyone could just take one down or whatever. It would take an engineer to do so as well.
Do it. So we would find, mines or ordnance that wasn't exploded, or bombs that were dropped from the planes and didn't explode. Well, that was our jobs to make sure they were exploded or got rid of. it's not like the time when John Wayne would tear apart a bomb, and use all this equipment. No, we would turn around and actually put C4 on it and explode it in place so nobody would get hurt. And then we were in charge of making sure that booby traps and stuff like that were disarmed, and that was our job.
What type of weapons?
What a dangerous job.
Were you using?
I was using an M16, an AR-15, and a 45, a Derrida 45.
Do you remember the first time you engaged the enemy?
Oh yeah, the first time I engaged the enemy. In fact, I had just landed, and it must have been my first month, and we were in Bearcat, and we went out into a night patrol out of the berm, and we got hit by a small Vietnamese recon unit, and I was green. I mean, I was so green.
Gosh, Vietnam was so scary because that's where they really employed the guerrilla tactics, where they would just be hiding out in a tree, behind a bush or whatever, and you just, as your patrol units going by, they just pop out small numbers of them because they didn't have large armies, so they couldn't engage large armies. But 2-3 jeeps rolling down the road with soldiers in them, they hop out at once and start spraying everyone, and that's how they would take out small groups that accounted to large numbers over throughout the war. But they used the heck out the guerrilla tactics. They just pop out of nowhere and start killing people.
My fatigues, all my greens were still so green, they were brand new, And so I said, I was shocked, I was scared, didn't know what to do. First thing I did was hit the ground and didn't know where to fire because you're just like, where is it coming from? And even though all the training that you get training in the military at home. So it's not real combat, situations. So when it really hits, it's like, what's going on, you don't know what's happening, and you're trying to figure out what to do. And no matter how much training you have, you kind of forget it. But then after a while, it starts coming back, and you start thinking. It's all about thinking before, because the first thing you start thinking about, this guy can kill me. Especially when you start hearing the round. A lot of people don't understand that when a bullet goes by your head, it actually zings just like a bee. And it zings, zing, zing, zing,
Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy to hear it go by your head. And you don't know where the shot is coming from. Let me reiterate that. A bullet is zooming by your head and you don't know where the shot is coming from. Do I move left? Do I move right? What the heck?
Oh my. So you don't know where to fire at because you're too afraid. So that was my first experience, and it was over real fast. We called it artillery surprise, and it was over within in a couple of minutes, and it was done. But after that, I found out that I'm in a war. This is real. This is not a joke. This is not what you see on TV. Now this guy here is trying to kill you. So either you get it together, or you're going to wind up dead. And so after that, things just started getting a little bit easier. Then when I got into my next firefight,
things get easier. It's how you create a soldier, a barbaric human being. You first get there, you hear a bullet go by, and you don't know what to do. Like you said, a couple months in, normal to him. Zing, where's he at? You just heard a bullet go by, and you didn't even. It ain't news to you.
was when they shipped me to Dongtan.
Dongtan?
And I got attached to the 7th of the 46th Infantry Unit, and so we were out on patrol, and then we got hit with a small unit. And so then I
guerrilla gang.
Then I started turning around and actually aiming to shoot and to turn on and take care of my job.
He's still not comfortable saying it. To turn around and, you know, you know.
First you get there, it's all about confusion, and that's confusion within you. Uh, After that, it's all about you starting to learn about you being protective of about you and your friends around you, and you start seeing that this guy here is trying to protect you as well as the other guy's trying to protect you, and you're all trying to protect.
Damn. There's confusion at first. Did I do the right thing by taking out this man that was aiming lead at us? And me, my friend, my buddy Joe, buddy Bobby? He had to get comfortable and convince himself that it was okay to fire back.
Each other and fighting for what you feel is right, you know. I used to, when I got used to it, and it took me a few months, because every time we went out, we always got hit. I mean, it was like day and night, you know. You went out, we always got
Day
hit.
and night. I toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind.
Patrol. And it wasn't very, they were never big, they usually were 10 or 15 men. And they were basically just for.
I told y'all, gang, they used the guerrilla tactics. It was 10, 15, 20 of them. And they would take out, but 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 3 here. These 5 shoot. Now these 5 shoot. Now these 5 shoot. Now these 2 shoot. And you don't know where the bullet's coming from. All around you. And you got a group of 2-3 vehicles carrying 6 men in it each. You got 12, 18 men. And bullets coming from all 4 sides. And that's how they would use the guerrilla tactics to... I mean, everyone knows the U.S. lost the Vietnam War. We didn't win. So we lost, right?
Destructive, situation. So they would sort of shooting at you, and then they would run. So you would be in that situation. But after a while, I used to be out there. Well, if you're going to shoot at me, I'm going to shoot at you, and I'm going to kill you. And then that became my motto. I got to the point where I knew if they were going to shoot at me, my job was to find them, see them, and shoot them. And I wasn't going to die. So it was his life or my life, and that's all it took. Fighting in a jungle is not a pretty situation. That's when you gotta be a cat. You gotta be able to see, or you gotta be a dog. You gotta be able to see all the little
dog
things. Because one thing about the Vietnamese or the VC or the Viet Cong, they always were black. Everything was black, and you gotta figure the jungle was always green. So if you focus your eyes, those things, I was young. So when you focus yourself, you were able to see them moving around, and they always had a chance to move from one place to another. They would fire for a little bit, and then they would do another one, and they would fire over here. So after a while, you started watching where the black spot was moving, and when you seen it, you shot. And usually 9 times out of 10, you took care of the problem.
Well, let's talk about the events of December 4th, 1967. Where were you, and what was the objective?
We were in the Long Nam province at the time. This was Operation Cobra, in December 4th, and
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money.
Dang, December 4th, right before his Christmas, away from home, he was gonna have to go on a mission, potentially lose his life 21 days before Christmas.
Getting off what basically happened, we were getting off we were on a ship. We were on a LSD, Navy ship, and we were working off the Mekong Delta at the time. So we were on these barges. It was a riverine force that we were working with actually with the 4th or the 47th at the time, and we had disembarked off the ship. And so as we got off the LSTs, we
LSD.
and we marched maybe for about a mile or so, and it was jungle area. And then we got into a rice paddy area where it was a lot of rice paddy. It was very open, and as the jungle was on our left-hand side, and we were walking towards the sun. And as we were walking, all of a sudden we got hit, and we got into it was what we call a U-shaped ambush. And then right in the middle, the machine gun was there. And, they were just, at that point, and we just got mowed down. I mean, they were just, because we were all standing up at the time, so they started just shooting and shooting and shooting. So, and we were in a U-shaped ambush. So we couldn't go this way, we couldn't go that way. The only way we can go is backwards. And, you're trying to run against bullets. It just doesn't work. So everybody just, jumped down and got onto the rice paddies. And so a lot of rice paddies has these little mounds. And so you're trying to hide behind these mounds, but they're just not high enough. You got water, and then you got the little mound, and so they're shooting at you, and they were killing quite a few people. Our point man was Washington, he was a black gentleman, a good friend of ours, and when we got hit so hard that, when he fell, and he just had a nervous breakdown because there was just so much bullets going by. And at that time, I think that they were not trying to kill him because they were interested in the rest of the party. And he was just stuck in the middle. So me and one of the other guys from the 7th or the 47th, we got together and we snuck out there and we pulled them back. And man, we were getting all kinds of fire. For some reason, we just lucked out. We got back and we hid behind that little mound on the rice paddy, and we were just getting hit. I mean, we got to the point, and so Don got killed. He was the operator, the radio operator. He got killed, and
Damn.
the radio operator was there, and my lieutenant.
Damn.
We used to call him Frenchy because he was from Louisiana, and he had red hair, but we used to call him Frenchy because he's from Louisiana, so he kind of got that nickname.
Damn, bro. He's talking about his friends, his homies that he was in war with. And they're dead. He watched them die, gang. He ain't flinching. He ain't depressed. He's just talking.
And when you're with officers, especially when you're in a war situation, you get pretty close to even your officers, especially if they're a good officer. And so we used to call him Frenchy. And he got separated from the RTO. And, we needed to get the radio to him so we can get air support. Because we were basically, we were through.
I seen this in a movie once. The radio guy goes down and they don't know how to work the radio and calling for backup, and they get pinched.
They were just shooting us like one of those gallery things, and arcades, they were just killing us pretty bad. So
they were killing us pretty bad.
Frenchie, my lieutenant, turned around and says, geez, we're in trouble, man, I need to get the radio. So we ended up getting the radio to him, and he's trying to call in air support.
If you want to build an app and have...
I don't want to build an app. I do. Let me tell you my app idea, gang. Hear me out. Everyone's always having trouble saving money for Christmas. This app, every penny you put in, it locks it in till December 1st. You don't get none of that money back till December 1st. It's a way to help people with impulse spending save money.
Well, say, Dave, is there any way that you can get move to the side and see what you can get? So I moved to the side, and every time I moved to the side, I was getting more fire coming at me. So something happened.
Oh, hell no.
What? I jumped up and I started running, and I started shooting at this one little section where this Vietnamese was at, and
boom, bro. If you get one of them, you can get 6 of them. They're all right next to each other. They're all in one spot here, one spot here, one spot here. Or they're making you think there's a bunch of them. That's because that's how the Vietnamese, gosh dang it, guerrilla tactic work. Be one guy here, one guy here, one guy there, 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 and they all take turns firing, and suddenly you think this whole area is covered with dudes, when in reality it's just one here and one here and one there and one there and one here.
Boom, blew 'em up, shot 'em up. So I got in there, and there was, I don't know, maybe about 40 meters or 25 meters or so, I can't remember exactly. There was another one, and so I was able to take him down. So I took him down, and he was out of the way. And so I got to a point where I ran out of ammo. True story. I ran out of ammo. I didn't know what to do. What am I going to do now? I don't know. I had no more clips or nothing. So I ended up picking up one of the rifles that the Viet Cong had, and the rifle doesn't make what kind it is. And so, I made sure that we had some ammo. And so I ended up, taking down the machine gun. One of the guys that was sitting in the other bunker jumped up and he ran, and he got fired. He got killed by somebody at the fire that we were shooting from the guys. And then I started targeting the other foxhole that they were in, like a foxhole. And I started firing that. I ended up killing another guy there. And then at that time, everything started mellowing out. And then we seen that there was two other Vietnamese just jumped up and just ran, and basically it was over with. It was, but by the time it was over with, there was only 7 of us.
That's what I'm saying, bro. There was only 7. There was only 7 of y'all left, but in reality, there was probably only like 12 of them all in total, and they just took out 30, 40 men by just mowing them down and running away. Moving on to the next spot, the next angle of attack.
How many that came?
25. Yeah.
Wow.
7 left out of 25, gang. That's like 35%. Yeah. Like 35% of them survived. Everyone else died. "65% dead, 35% alive from walking through a rice paddy field." No thank you.
So, how, with a rifle, you were able to take out a machine gun position?
Yeah, it's not hard. If you got a guy shooting with a machine gun and you see a head, you hit the head. And so I was aiming at the head. I ended up hitting him right about here, I think, when we went out there, and it was a good hit, and it was one bullet, one shot, and it took care of business. And the other
Took care of
also,
business, he says.
we ended up getting another one, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was shooting there, so I don't know if it was me that killed somebody, the last one that was there, or somebody else did, and then the other 2 that were in the foxhole jumped up and they ran. But I was shooting there, so I think I got him, but I'm always be an honest kind of guy to say maybe he was lucky and got shot by somebody else.
So you mentioned there were only 7 of you still able to fight.
Yeah, there were 7 of us left.
Of the other 18,
Right.
did many of them recover?
I don't know, because a lot of them went back. We had a lot of body bags. A lot of them were wounded. I don't know, because we regrouped and then we continued with our mission.
Life goes on, especially in war.
Flew in his helicopter, and he came in. He assessed the situation that happened, and well, actually, I was a Spec 4 at the time, so he gave me automatically made me to a sergeant right away, and so I got a field promotion as a sergeant right there and then.
Hey guys, my name is Harris Heller, and I've been.
The hell are we getting all these weak ass ads from Hellas Heller? I don't give a hoot. If you ain't trying to make money, then you better school. And if you don't, I'ma give you the boot.
It was let's put it this way, it was an interesting day.
When did you find out you would be receiving a Bronze Star?
I didn't know. It was months. It was about 4 or 5 months, and all of a sudden, it caught me by surprise. I wasn't even expecting it. I didn't think I did either.
Just surviving.
It just happens. Just something just happens, And a lot of people turn around and say, "Wow, how could you do that?" I go, "I don't know. You know, how can a person turn around and lift up a car when somebody's underneath it? It's because it just happens, you know."
Well, Mr. Rodriguez, you mentioned the Purple Heart, which you are a recipient of. In fact, you were wounded 3 times in Vietnam. Miraculously, not that day in December of 1967, but the first time was late January, early February, around the time of the Tet Offensive.
Right.
Explain what was happening that day and what happened.
Oh, we were actually out in the jungle. We were in northern Vietnam and towards Hue City, and we were in the jungle area there, and then we got ambushed. And as we were kind of falling back a little bit to get ourselves positioned, there was some Viet Cong there, and one of them rose up and bayoneted me on my right side, punctured my lung, and pulled out my partner.
Oh, gang, that's gotta be the worst. Imagine someone just hi-ya and bayoneting your dumb ass. I'd be so pissed. Fuck, I just got bayoneted. I'd be so pissed, gang. How'd I let my dumb ass get hit with a bayonet?
Spook, you know, because we always worked together. I mean, we were together for the whole 3 years.
Damn, he was in Vietnam 3 years?
Oakdale, California, so we're still good friends. And he turned around and, you know, because I yelled, I go, wow, you know, and this guy was trying to talk his rival.
That's what you yell, gang? You got hit with a bayonet and you yell, wow.
He lives in Santa Rosa, California. I live in Oakdale, California, so we're still good friends. And he turned around and, you know, because I yelled, I go, wow, you know, and this guy was trying to cock his rifle to shoot me. And Spook turned around and shot him, and he pulled back, and he died. So that was my first one, and it was just, he just came out of the bushes. It was something that was a surprise, because we were actually right in the middle of a small unit of Viet Cong. So we were, you know, it was all about.
He got left behind and he was hiding in the
but
bush.
It was pretty close to it.
What's that like, being that close to the enemy?
What the heck? That dumbass should have let him walk by. Let him walk by and you survive. Instead, you bayoneted him and you died. Stupid.
Scary, because you have to remember, if you turn and you see somebody there, and this guy's trying to cock his rifle to shoot you, you know, and he's just as scared as you. And then you're nervous because all of a sudden you wasn't expecting him to be that close. You're nervous, and then you're getting yourself to prepare to shoot him. So it's all about you shooting him before he shoots you.
How long did it take you?
The name of the game, baby.
Well, this one here, I ended up going to Osaka. I went to Saigon, and then from Saigon I went to Osaka. They ended up putting a little rubber hose in the wound, and they put it into my lung, and then blew my lung up, and then they turned around and put, this is what the doctor told me, so what they're going to do, and they blow my lung back up, and then they put some crazy glue to glue my lung, and then of course they sealed me up after they did that, and then of course I remember the doctor said, what?
Crazy glue. My boy's still alive.
Whatever you do, don't inhale real deep, okay? Do small, you know, just like you're patting like a dog. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, if you do an inhale, you're going to open that sucker back up, and we're going to have to go back in there. So, but you know how crazy glue is, right? It seals up pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, you know, because he said 10 minutes, just don't be breathing real hard. You know, just pat like a dog. He goes, for 10 minutes, and you'll be okay. Yeah, that was fun because I was in Japan at the time.
You were bayoneted again around September of 1968.
I'd be so pissed if I got bayoneted twice, gang. If I got bayoneted twice, I'd be so pissed. The first time, it's like, alright, you caught me by surprise. You popped up out this bush. But I'm not about to let y'all bayonet me twice. That shit's... What?
September. Wow, that was a good one. That was probably one of the most interesting ones, because I got bayoneted. We were in the jungle. We were in Longland Province next to the French fort. And we were working around the fort because we were getting some info that we were getting the 501st Northern Vietnamese regulars were going to be coming in that area. So we were turning on scoping the area and getting our bearings and things ready. Well, all of a sudden we ran into a few Vietnamese, but there was a couple of them hiding, and we didn't know it. So when we were passing through the trail, one of them jumped up and stabbed me on my left-hand side. And he stabbed me, and he stuck me all the way so hard, he didn't reach my lung, but his bayonet got stuck between my ribs. Well, as he pulled back, he wouldn't come out, I pulled back. And again, my partner Spook, I go, hey Spook, get this guy. And so I go, so he grabs my arm, he goes, if I pull you and he goes forward, he's going to go through you. He goes, and if this guy keeps pulling and if you go back, he's going to go through you. So I go, man, I don't care what you do, get your foot, pull him off of me. So when he ended up putting his foot in his chest and pulled me out, and then we ended up shooting this guy. I was so darn mad, I filled it full of holes. I mean, this gentleman he was.
I told you, gang, the first time you got me. The second time, I am super pissed.
I was so darn mad, I filled it full of holes. I mean,
I swear to God.
The gentleman he wasn't going to move for forever. I was so mad.
That's so funny.
I was so darn mad, I filled it full of holes. I mean, this gentleman he wasn't going to move for forever. I got so mad because it hurt so damn bad, and you know, I could have died because if I would have went forward, the rifle would have went through me. If I would have went backwards, the rifle would have went through me. You know, the bed. One way or the other, I would have been dead. But again, remember I was telling you, there's always somebody protecting you, putting
Man, some things are just lucky, gang. Some things are just lucky. Some things are just lucky. Some things are just lucky. Not gonna tell me someone's choosing. That would be the most unholy thing, technically. To pick and choose. Not tell me someone's picking and choosing. 25 of y'all walked in that rice paddy field and 7 of y'all walked out. What did he have against the other 18? I'm not hearing it.
Cloak around you so you get killed. And so, but that was a real.
I do believe in a power. I do believe that somebody that God, there's one God, that he created us and all that. But I'm not hearing that he's picking and choosing and playing favorites. I'm just not hearing that.
It was funny afterwards because everybody started, the story went through the whole ship, and everybody started laughing about it and saying, so you kept telling Spook to pull you, and he kept telling you to be careful because it can go through you. I go, well, I didn't know what else to tell him, so everybody, it was a good story when we were engaged. Everybody started laughing, and it was a joke thing for a little while, you know.
No, hell no, I don't know. Would nobody be laughing if you get stabbed for the second time with that bayonet, you gang, I might be laughing too. I ain't gonna hold you. Dun, 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 dun.
Did it take long to recover from that one?
No, it was actually, well, I ended up getting, the medic came and, he patched me up, he cleaned it out and stuff like that, put some stuff on it. But when I
Put some stuff on it.
It ended up swollen up and it was all red for a while. It got infected. And it wasn't deep, it just...
The infection is the worst part, gang. That's what can kill you.
Hit the bone and got caught within the bone, between the two bones, But what happened, I guess the vein was just dirty and stuff like that, so it got infected. And about 3 weeks later, I was fine. I was out there again like a dummy.
And a couple of months later, you got wounded again.
Yeah, but that one wasn't. Remember I was telling you, that was like a bumblebee hitting you. we were in where was I? We were in the rice paddy, I think, at the time, and we turned around. We were out there in the bushes. They had some snipers out there, and I don't know. As I was walking, I guess they were aiming for my head or something, and my arm must have went up or something, and they hit me, and I got that little hole right there. You can see it. You can still see that little hole.
Yep.
Where it went through, and it came out to this other side. You know. But that was, I mean, that one, it was really nothing. I mean, I didn't even get no stitches or nothing.
He's an OG. Look at him, gang. Look at his face. He don't give a fuck.
It's amazing that you're just taking it all in stride. When did your deployment end?
Oh, I got out of there in late '68, almost, in fact, December.
My dad was born in 69. No, 68. 68, 69. I love you, Dad.
I think just before Christmas. I came home just before Christmas.
Many Vietnam soldiers, as
What
you
a
know,
gift.
were treated horribly when they came home. Did you experience any of that?
Yeah, I tried to stay away from it. We came back to California.
California, gang. You know how California is today. They were the same way back then. All the hippies were holding up the signs. So back home in the United States, it had been publicized. It's known that the Vietnam War is pointless, that we were just in there killing them basically for no reason, that we were losing all these soldiers, but they were blaming the soldiers for actually doing the killings. When really they were just trying to survive.
I was at home for 30 days, and they had a lot of the protests. But in San Jose, it was more, you didn't have a lot of the big major colleges that they were doing this stuff. So I really didn't get involved with it. When I went back to, I had 30-day leave, and I went to Fort Leonard, Missouri, as a DI in training, and I was training explosives. We used to have a lot of protesters, and then I got moved back to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where
Hey, Kentucky. That's where I'm from, gang.
it's all right, and that's our alma mater, where with 168 Special Forces, which I was attached to. Went back there, and I was a DI there for a little while, and then I got out of the military.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. David Rodriguez, for your service and incredible heroism. That's crazy. That's crazy. Today's generation is not going in Vietnam and doing what David Rodriguez did in 1966. It's just not happening. We don't have the heart or the guts. It's just not happening. If anyone is still around at this point of the video, according to my YouTube analytics, it is one person every 1,000 views that is still around at the end. But if you are, consider giving it a thumbs up. Help the channel grow. Consider subscribing. It would also help the channel grow. And we'll see y'all on the next one.